Hi, everybody. I'm Andrea Olson with Go Diaper Free, and this is me recording episode 144 of the Go Diaper Free podcast, which is Potty Training After Elimination Communication. Does it make you a failure? So here we go. Let's hit record. Welcome to the Go Diaper Free podcast, where we're all about helping you stop depending on diapers as early as birth. I'm your host, Andrea Olson, author and mom of 5 babies, all EC'd from birth, all out of diapers by walking. Today, we are going to, we're going to share about whether this makes you a failure if you potty train after elimination communication. This is episode 144, and it is a guest post from one of our certified coaches in Chicago and Quebec, Ariane. And you can read the written version of her blog post over at godiaperfree.com/144. where I'm also going to link to anything that we mentioned in today's episode, and you can see the adorable pictures she's put up. So we'll also be replying to comments over there after the show, so come on by when you're finished. When I started elimination communication, I thought I would never have to potty train my child. I read that EC babies usually become toilet trained by themselves somewhere between 12 to 24 months. I was really hoping that would be my experience, but it wasn't. My EC journey. I discovered elimination communication when my first son was 3 months old. I was astonished, skeptical, but also very curious. After gathering some info, I started right away. I was amazed by our first successes. I was catching a few pees every day, and within a month, my baby started pooping in the toilet exclusively. It was going so well, I was telling all my friends about it. And during the next 6 months, we had less than 10 poopy diapers, and we had double the time between our cloth diaper washes, going from washing every 2 to 3 days to every 5 to 7 days. Do I need to say that washing pee only is 100 times easier than dealing with poop, especially when baby starts eating solid food? If it hadn't been for EC, I don't think we would have continued to use cloth diapers after we moved to Chicago, where we don't have a washer and dryer in our apartment. Just the cost of the laundry 2 to 3 times per week would not have been worth it. So thanks again, EC. Now, when my son approached 1 year old, I thought we were done with diapers. I could keep him dry all day long. He would start to wake up dry, even if he was still waking up once a night to drink milk. But then we traveled home for the holidays, and we had a really big regression. Looks like we were not done after all. My son started walking at 15 and a half months. As you know, walking is a big developmental milestone, and it helps a lot with potty independence. How can you get to the potty, push down your pants, dump your potty and everything if you can't walk yet? At 18 months, I thought again we were ready to graduate from EC. It was the beginning of the summer, and I kept him dry for a few days. He was gladly going when I offered him to pee or poop. But then again, we traveled in Germany that summer, and we faced another major regression. Transitioning to potty training. So here we are, back home in Chicago. My son is now almost 2. I was able to get him back to part-time EC for the past month. He went back to pooping only in the potty, thank goodness. I am so ready to be done with diapers. 2 years of washing diapers, that's way more than what I thought I was signing up for. While pregnant, I thought babies wore diapers only during their first year of life, which is true around the world. 50 to 60% of babies elsewhere in the world are potty trained by around 1 year old. But here in America, the average potty training age is 3. I am not going to change wet diapers and underwear for another year or more, no thank you. That's why I'm officially tired of doing EC. I'm tired of doing it part-time only, with diapers and training pants as a backup. I think it's confusing for my son, now that he is 22 months old. I'm ready to jump ship and do potty training to the finish line. While babies let themselves be guided by their parents, toddlers want to do things on their own. To get that autonomy and independence they aim for, they need clear boundaries, simple expectations, repetitive tasks. They need potty training, not EC. This is the difference between elimination communication and potty training. Number 1, EC can be done part-time. Potty train has to be done full-time. EC can be done with diapers. Potty train means ditching the diaper and never looking back. With EC, you try to get some or most of the pees and poops in the potty. With potty training, you try to get all the pees and poops in the potty. And number 4, the goal of EC is communication. The goal of potty training is completion. In both cases, you have to respect your child in the process. You have to teach them what to do. You have to give them as much independence as they can handle. Some parents forget that, both in EC and potty training. This week, I am using potty training to wrap up EC. With all this in mind, I started potty training my son yesterday, and it went so well. We only had one accident when I was distracted folding laundry. Very common error. During the intensive teaching days of potty training, don't do anything else. Other than that, we got every single pee and poop, of course, into the toilet. And that's because we did EC for all those months previously. Elimination communication has helped me. Number one, know my toddler's natural rhythm. He usually goes every hour. Since I gave him extra fluid, I knew he would go every half hour. I simply prompt him and he just goes. Number two, develop tricks to stay on the potty. We have been through many potty resistant phases. Now I know what potty position my toddler prefers, what books he likes to read. It's Tiny Potty, Andrea's board book, by the way. What songs he likes to hear, Wheels on the Bus, of course, etc. EC has also helped me, 3, know my toddler's signals. In fact, I didn't have to prompt him all day long. Sometimes I would just see him grab his crotch or wiggle in his high chair. I knew what that meant. I would just honor those signals by bringing him to the potty. And number 4, EC has helped me connect my toddler with his own bodily functions. When he had his only accident of the day, he came to me saying pee-pee. That's huge. Kids who wear diapers 24/7 for 2 to 3 years sometimes don't even know what pee is, what it looks like, what it feels like. EC helps connect your child to his own elimination process. He even said pee-pee by himself before peeing a few times too. So I'm not saying potty training will be like a fairy tale if he did EC previously. Mine isn't. We are on day 2 now and things are already more complicated. I'm just saying we started off on the right foot thanks to EC. And you could be too. Does wrapping it up with potty training mean you failed at EC? Short answer, no. If you have not failed at EC if your child is not yet potty independent. If you're there too wondering how to wrap up EC at 18 months or after, know that you are not alone. You did nothing wrong. It's perfectly normal. The people who complete EC at a young age without much effort are always more talkative about it than people who are struggling. So hear me out. My name is Ariane. I'm a Go Diaper Free coach, and my EC baby is still not independent at 22 months. And that's okay. What can you do to wrap up EC with your baby? Well, you have 2 options. Option 1 is stick with elimination communication. If you continue with EC, building blocks towards independence, ditching the diapers for good, trying to move from part-time to full-time, chances are things will wrap up by themselves in the next few months. If you need a little help, grab Andrea's mini course on wrapping up EC. And option 2, switch to potty training. If, like me, you are ready to be done, then just potty train, no shame. Potty training is not EC failure. It's just a faster, more direct way to complete EC. The thing is, potty training is different from EC. You will need guidance to switch from one to the other. Such guidance can be found in the Tiny Potty Training book, which is Andrea's other book. It has a simple, quick, and effective method that is inspired by EC and follows the same spirit. Now, please tell me I'm not the only one who had to potty train after doing EC. Please go over to the show notes, godiaperfree.com/144, and comment at the bottom, at what age did your child become potty trained or potty independent? How did you do it? If you're not there yet, what are your expectations? Thank you and best wishes, XOX Ariane. Big thanks to Ariane for sharing this guest post with us all. I mean, it brings up so much for me. You guys know that I haven't had to potty train anyone. And I also know that I'm very vocal about it. And I don't want anybody to feel bad about having to wrap up EC with potty training because that is very common and it's due to a variety of circumstances. One thing I would say is to sort of prevent this from happening, I would always recommend stopping using diapers at walking, period, across the board, even if you, the parent, aren't ready or you don't think your child's ready, which is also not ever the case. It's all up to you, really. And secondly, I would also advise that when you have a moment when you're traveling or moving or a big life transition, do not stop doing EC. Keep that at the core of your activities so that you can remain as consistent as possible while you're traveling and when you get back. And if you're already past the walking mark, don't use diapers during the traveling or the moving. Stay on it. Your child will follow your lead. All else fails, and that's all you can take, which is what Ariane went through. Then you do what you can. You do the best you can with the resources you have and the knowledge you have. Definitely rely on either of my books or both of them, the Wrapping Up EC mini course, and literally just consider doing what our grandparents did. Stop using diapers when they start walking. Teach them the final things here and there. And trust them that once they're in cotton pants, just like Montessori schools do in the 1-year-old class, everybody goes into cotton pants, regardless of whether they're potty training at home or not. And that all increases their sensitivity. So all of them then feel the cause and effect. And between 12 and 18 months is a sensitive period for toilet learning. So it's a great time to stop using diapers and to teach the final process. Now, if Ariane did not have cloth diapers to go back to, what would she have done? She would have figured it out. And that's just not something that a lot of us have the luxury of. Like, we can get a diaper, we can wash a diaper, So what would you do if you didn't have them? That's the question. I don't think Ariane did anything wrong at all. And sometimes we just have a really super difficult EC case or just a lot of life chaos going on that prevents us from staying with those things and really just stopping using diapers and switching from part-time to full-time. So those are my closing statements. Those are Andrea's, not hers. And I do have another podcast about moving from part-time to full-time. Let me find it for you. Yeah. It's episode 122, and I'll link to it in the show notes. How do I move from part-time e-seeing to more full-time e-seeing? And then also, that's episode 122. And then I think I want to find the one about when do we stop? Yeah. When to move from diapers to undies is episode 41. And what else do I got for you? It literally just goes without saying, but you just stop. And it's kind of hard. Episode 132 is about what to do if you run out of diapers, so you could kind of pretend and figure it out. But yeah, that's all I've got. I'm Andrea with Go Diaper Free. Thank you so much for listening today and joining us. You can see the show notes again at godiaperfree.com/144. Head over and let us know, when was your child potty trained or potty independent? How did you do it? And if not, what are your expectations? And know that there are resources and there are ways, and that, like me, mother of 5, you can stop using diapers at walking and you will be okay. And life happens. So I have no judgment for you. If you're there, you're like, I'm at 22 months and I haven't wrapped it up, then just potty train. No shame. Get it done. Your child deserves that, and so do you. All right. Until next time, happy pottying, y'all. I'm Andrea Olson, and you've been listening to the Go Diaper Free podcast at godiaperfree.com. I'll see you next time. Great. So now please comment below the exact same question I had for the blog, and we will reply to your comments as well. How did you do it? Are we there yet? If not, what are your expectations? Please subscribe and hit the bell, and I'll let you know when new episodes come up. I am planning some kind of a YouTube series soon on this channel that will be likely accompanied by a glass of wine after the children are in bed, where we just kind of talk about things. An EC topic, potty training topic, life, parenting, whatever. So stay tuned for that. That's something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and it'll happen as soon as it happens, hopefully within a couple of weeks. Take care, you guys. Thanks.